Welcome to your Lower Campus Tour video, which will be full of helpful hints so you can give the best tour possible. Lower Campus tours are given the most frequently, so it's important that you become comfortable with this material. There are 4 different Lower Campus tour routes to familiarize yourself with, but for this video, you'll be watching a Forward's Towers tour. Begin your tour with an introduction to yourself, as performed on every tour. It is also a good idea to ask any prospective students where they are from and what they intend to major in. That way you can personalize the tour for them. You can also give the history of the university, which was founded in 1787 by Hugh Henry Brackenridge and originally located in downtown Pittsburgh, where the three rivers meet. Be sure to mention that today we have roughly 18,000 undergraduate students at the university, and that we occupy a little less than a quarter of a square mile.
After you discuss the history of the university, you can transition into talking about Alumni Hall, which was formerly called the Masonic Temple. However, after being acquired by the university, it became the home of past, present, and future students. Cross Tennyson Avenue and begin to describe the buildings that make up Biology Row. Clapp Hall is home to the biology department and its labs, and is also newly renovated. Directly behind Clapp is Langley Hall, which is home to the neuroscience department. Be sure to mention that undergraduates can obtain a neuroscience degree and emphasize its uniqueness. Lastly, behind Langley is Crawford Hall, which is home to the biochemistry department. Then, transition from talking about the sciences to pointing out the music building, which was the original filming location of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Point out that one of the upperclassmen residence halls, Ruskin Hall, is located in the area behind the music building. Ruskin is an apartment-style housing complex that comes with central air, a fully furnished kitchen, and private bathrooms.
You can finish discussing Ruskin as you cross 5th Avenue towards the Cathedral lawn and then begin talking about the Mellon Institute. This is the building with large round columns to the left and provides you with a visual to show where Pitt's campus ends and Carnegie Mellon's campus begins. Now, it would also be an appropriate time to describe the cross-registration program between the 9 different universities in the Oakland region. After you are done discussing cross-registration, point out the green area that is the Cathedral lawn, where students can relax, blow off steam by playing sports, or do work because the lawn is wireless equipped, as is our whole campus. When you have a clear view of Hines Chapel, you can begin talking about its history and how it was dedicated by H.J. Hines in memory of his mother. Stress that the chapel is non-denominational, and at this point, you can always discuss other religious opportunities on or around campus. Be sure to include fun facts about Hines Chapel weddings, including the 5 types of people who can get married there and the fact that there is also a 1-year waiting list. Turn your family's attention to the Cathedral of Learning. A funny way to do so is by saying that they are now looking at the prettiest girl on campus. Mention that it is the tallest educational building in the Western Hemisphere at a total of 42 stories or 535 feet tall, and also has 2,529 windows. Transition to talking about the inside of the building by informing your tour that the building was constructed during the Great Depression under former Chancellor John Bowman, and that one of the ways he decided to make the building unique was to reach out to various ethnic groups across the city. This effort created the nationality rooms, and here you should give the statistics about them as well as any remaining history. Try to show a room that is open, usually the Syria-Lebanon room. This way families get a visual of what you are describing. Continue talking about other amenities in the cathedral, such as classrooms, offices, computer labs, the commons room, and the cafe, and also don't forget the Honors College, which is located on the 35th and 36th floors. Make sure to ask whether your families have any final questions before you exit the cathedral.
Walk towards the ledge to show Bigelow Boulevard and explain the types of events that occur here. Explain how our football team plays at Heinz Field, home of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Also introduce game day shuttles, which are free for students. Mention that tickets are only $25 and that students get a free t-shirt. After this, you can explain that Pitt provides buses for its students to use for major recesses, such as the holidays. Explain the advantages and give some examples of prices and locations. Finish talking about Bigelow Boulevard by mentioning Bigelow Bash and Fall Fest, 2 biannual carnival-type events that are free for Pitt students. You want to explain each and give some examples of past performers such as Kesha, Walk the Moon, Ex-Ambassadors, and Hoodie Allen.
After talking about Bigelow Boulevard, head down the cathedral stairs and begin talking about the Carnegie Complex. Students get access to the Museum of Natural History and the Museum of Art for free with their Pitt IDs. This also provides you with a great time to talk about the benefits that come with your Pitt ID, such as riding the Port Authority buses fare-free. As you're crossing the street toward Hillman Library, you'll be passing the Pitt Stop, which is the only and oldest outdoor vendor at the university. Tell your families they're welcome to come back later and shop. Right across from the Pitt Stop, you'll see Shenley Plaza, which is a wireless-equipped green space with a variety of food options that you'll want to elaborate on. It is also the gateway to Shenley Park, which is a 456-acre park with woods, rolling hills, and hiking and biking trails. It is also home to Flagstaff Hill and Phipps Conservatory and Botanical Gardens. After talking about Shenley Park, begin to talk about buildings that surround Posvar Hall, such as Hillman Library and the Frick Fine Arts Building. Mention any pertinent statistics. Don't forget to tell your families about the Mary Shenley Fountain, which was designed by Victor Brenner, the man who also designed the penny. By now, you should be near the call box, and at this point, you should talk about safety because it is a major concern for many parents. Mention the Pitt Police and our campus's blue light system, any important statistics, the emergency notification system, and Safe Rider. If there are no questions, you may then turn the family's attention to Mazeroski Field and the old Forbes Field wall to explain some Pirates history, and finally point out Mervis Hall, home to the Katz Graduate School of Business, then proceed to walk into Posvar Hall.
You can start by describing the layout of the building and how it contains both classrooms and offices for many departments, such as political science and education. From these departments, transition into talking about classroom size and explain some standard facts. Be sure to explain recitations, course web, and office hours, and make sure you do this while showing them a typical lecture hall. After leaving the lecture hall, head towards the escalators in Posvar Hall. On your way, you will pass the College of General Studies and the McCarl Center for non-traditional students. Briefly describe each and then point out the home plate of the former Forbes Field where Babe Ruth hit his final 3 home runs of his career. Once you get to the top of the escalator, begin to talk about Einstein Brothers Bagels and add how this takes dining dollars and Panther funds. Here, it would be helpful to explain Panther funds and how they are important to campus life.
You can transition to talking about South Oakland, a neighborhood occupied mainly by Pitt students, by mentioning that Panther funds are popular among upperclassmen because you can use them at local restaurants. South Oakland is a popular off-campus living option for students, so now would be a great time to elaborate on other off-campus living options such as North Oakland and also the Office of Off-Campus Living. You can then discuss on-campus housing options near this area, such as Bouquet Gardens, and elaborate on the housing process for both incoming freshmen and upperclassmen. When walking through the Skywalk, you can discuss the Computer Lounge in David Lawrence Hall as well as the building as a whole. The Computer Lounge is important because it is open 24/7 and also contains an equal number of both Macs and PCs. This is a great place to discuss technology as a whole, such as software and printing. After the Computer Lounge, you can discuss how the largest lecture hall on campus, which is located in David Lawrence Hall, was recently renovated and holds lectures such as the history of jazz. Proceed to point out Barco Law and walk over Forbes Avenue. At this time, explain that Fifth has an I in it, so it leads into downtown, and that Forbes has an O in it, so it leads out of downtown. You can also mention and explain Permane Brothers and Fuel and Fuddle, as well as Pamela's. Finally, point out the Pitt Police satellite station at the base of the stairs as an added security measure.
As you finish crossing the Skywalk, begin talking about Litchfield Towers as they come into view. These buildings are a co-ed on-campus residence hall that house about a third of the incoming freshman class. Towers A and B are made up of all freshman doubles, while Tower C is made up of singles for freshmen and upperclassmen students. It may also be helpful to emphasize that these residence halls are single-sex by floor, meaning that students will never share a restroom with someone of the opposite sex. Head inside and point out some amenities that can be found in the Tower's lobby. First, you'll want to mention Panther Central, which acts as mom and dad on campus. This is where students go if they lose their Pitt ID, get locked out of their rooms, or simply want to change their meal plan. Next, point out the 24-hour fitness center located under Tower A. Additionally, you can also point out the laundry room filled with 55 washers and 55 dryers, as well as the mail center, PNC ATMs, and Panther Funds machines. Now is the best time to discuss the meal plan. So start by saying that the meal plan has 2 parts, dining passes and dining dollars. Dining passes can be used at Market Central on lower campus or the Perch on upper campus. To access them, you would swipe in and 1 pass would be deducted off of your total for the semester. This allows you to stay as long as you like and eat as much as you would like. It may be helpful to include examples of the choices Market offers, as well as including that they offer vegan, vegetarian, and gluten-free options. Also on the dining plan are dining dollars, which may be used at any one of the 23 on-campus eateries and work like a debit card and is a dollar-for-dollar system. You can also mention that dining dollars roll over from semester to semester, but dining passes don't. Additionally, there is a 2-week grace period in the beginning of every semester where you are able to change your meal plan without being fined. If there aren't any questions, move on to sign them into a residence hall. You'll want to explain how the sign-in process works because families are generally confused about this, and you can do so while walking up the stairs. Next, show them the tour room located on the second floor directly in front of the stairwell, and describe its amenities. Mention that the room comes with all the wooden furniture, visible, Wi-Fi, basic cable, climate control, and fire safety. Answer any questions and take them back down, sign them out, and head out to Towers Patio.
Once again, there is a lot of information to cover in this section of your tour, so it is a good idea to start on either the left or the right and work your way over. You can point out Thackeray Hall, home to the math department, and then tell your families that directly behind Thackeray, they can find the Academic Resource Center, as well as the O'Hara Student Center, which house both the Math and Writing Assistance Centers. Explain each and then move on to talking about Benedum Hall, home to the Swanson School of Engineering. Be sure to mention these engineering disciplines, that the facility is newly renovated, and that there's an Einstein Brothers Bagels in the basement. Transition into talking about UPMC and mention any pertinent statistics, as well as the opportunities for internships, volunteering, and research. UPMC can serve as a segue into talking about the medical school located in Scaife Hall, the nursing school which is located in Victoria Hall, and the dental and pharmacy schools located in Salk Hall. Before leaving Towers Patio, be sure to give an overview of Upper Campus. Mention the 3 residence halls that are located there, and be sure to elaborate on Sutherland Hall, because prospective students may live there. Finish by discussing the Peterson Event Center and the basketball games that are held there, as well as the Barrel Recreation Facility.
Pass by the university store on 5th Avenue and explain that this is a great place to get any pick gear as well as your textbooks. Now, enter the area known as the Schenley Quadrangle and describe its history. The buildings were formerly known as the Schenley Apartments, however, the university then purchased them and turned them into residence halls. The quad is made up of Bruce Hall, where the Business Living Learning community is located, Brackenridge and McCormick Hall, which are suite-style living options for upperclassmen, Hollands Hall, an all-female residence hall, and Amos Hall, which houses the sororities on our campus. This then gives you a flawless transition into talking about Greek life on campus. Mention that we are not a Go Greek or Go Home school, with only about 9% of our students participating in Greek life.
Transition to talking about the William Pitt Union, you can mention that it houses some of our campus's clubs, organizations, and offices for different groups. It also houses fun things like the ticket office, which works in conjunction with Pitt Arts. It also houses the Schenley Cafe, the Jazz Hall of Fame, and Nordy's Place. However, before this building was our student union, it was the Schenley Hotel, followed by an all-male dormitory that housed Mike Ditka in his time here as a freshman.
Conclude your tour by telling your family why you chose Pitt, asking if they have any final questions or if they also need directions. After this, thank them for coming on your tour and inform them that you'll be heading back to alumni if they would like to follow you.
You may be showing Nordenberg Hall on your tour, so it's important to be familiar with this residence hall. It is the newest freshman residence hall on campus and holds 559 freshman students, both male and female, in doubles and triples. The tour room is on the 3rd floor and is to the right of the first door. As you're walking up the stairs, you can fill the time by talking about the Wellness Center, which is located on the 2nd floor of Nordenberg Hall.